Hi, everybody. This is Jill for today. Welcome to Around the World in 80 Breads. I think this is bread number 3. Pretty sure it is. So today we're going to Germany and we're making a light and fluffy roll that's pretty commonly found in German bakeries. There's a lot of recipes, and quite honestly, I don't know when, they all say we're authentic, so I'm not really sure which one is the most authentic. But this one, again, is a user-friendly recipe, which I'm trying to do, so we all have an opportunity to play with this wonderful series I'm doing. Okay, the name of this, he's going to get me. The name of this roll is Broetchen. I did it. He said I did it. Okay, let's come on down. I have in my mixer bowl here, I've got some flour. It's bread flour. You can use all-purpose flour, but it's bread flour. And I'm going to add some dry yeast, and I'll have all the measurements for you so you don't have to worry about it. So we're going to add some yeast there, and I'm going to add some sugar, just a little bit to get that baby going. Yeast loves sugar, and I'm going to mix this up just to get all that inside. This is exciting. I haven't tried this one, obviously. That's what's so much fun. I'm finding these recipes, and we're experimenting and getting them together at the same time. All right, here comes some water, very warm water. And now I'm going to give this a good stir, get all that mixed in. And what's going to happen here is the yeast and the sugar and the flour are going to, can you see that in there? Are going to combine and get ready so then I can start adding, there's some oil that goes in here and some salt that goes in here. But this is a pretty easy recipe. My goodness. Seems awfully dry though. And I really measured. The recipe has the weights, if you wanted to weigh the flour and the water and all that out, or cups. And I'll leave both of those for you. So if you're a person that likes to weigh your flour and your water, those will be there for you. But if you're a person that doesn't have a scale, I'll give you the cups. Yeah, this is very dry. I don't know about this, but we'll see. It's very dry. Okay, we're going to leave it the way, we're going to do it the way it says. So I'm going to set this aside and let it set about 10 minutes, which will wake that yeast up, and hopefully it'll kind of absorb some of that water because it is dry. So when we're ready to start adding the oil and the salt, we'll be back. 10 minutes later, and I was harassed because I said it was really dry, and he said I must have said it a half a dozen times. It is really dry. Okay, so here's what it looks like. This is 10 minutes in, and it's still pretty dry. So what I'm going to do now is I have a teaspoon of salt to go in here. And there's this theory about salt and yeast and how if you add the two together, it makes the yeast not work as good as it would. I tell you, I have made hundreds of loaves of bread, and I have never, ever found, I've even tested it. I've never found salt to inhibit the yeast when you're putting them all together. So that's just my take on it. But I did it the way the recipe said. Okay, then we need a tablespoon of oil. Broetchen? All right, so I'm going to put it on my, all right, whatever. Mixer. Okay. And we are going to knead this. Now, you could do it by hand, but I'm lazy. At 72, you get to be lazy. I'm going to give this about 5 minutes. We'll get it started here for you so you can see how it's looking. And then I'll knead it on here about 5 minutes. Now, if you were to hand knead it, you probably give it a good 10 minutes, But let's start with this and we'll see how we go. It's coming together pretty well. Not looking as dry. All right, we'll give this a few minutes. I'll be back. 5 minutes later, it looks pretty good. Looks pretty good. There. Take the beater off here, the dough hook. I'll move my mixer out of the way. I'm going to clean this off. Ugh. That's nice. Nice soft dough. I am going to give it a couple of kneads on the counter to kind of bring it together. Flour here. bit here. And then I'm going to get it out of there. That's a nice dough. It is a nice dough. Very nice. Ugh. I'm getting so weak in my old age. Okay. Oh, that is nice. Oh, that's good. Good. In fact, I'm not going to use all that flour because I don't need it. Oh, this is lovely. Yeah, this is nice dough. Very soft. Yeah. That to me is when you, especially white dough flour, flour doughs, and if it's got milk in it, oh my gosh, or eggs, just luscious dough. All right.
But is it dry?
It's not dry anymore. It's funny how it was so dry to begin with. And, I didn't add any water to it. Look at how nice that is. Okay. I'm going to bring in here a bowl that has been oiled. Put it in there. I'm going to give it a little spin here, and I'm going to turn it over. So what I'm going to do with this now, I have a proofing function on my oven, which keeps it, a nice little temperature to proof your dough. If you don't have that, that's just fine. You can set it on the counter. If it's a cold day in your home, you could turn the light on in your oven, the light, not the oven, and you could use that to keep that warm environment. But generally, I think a counter is going to be just fine for you. I'm going to cover it with some plastic wrap, and the instructions say it should take a couple hours to double in size. So I'll keep track of that. I'll let you know how long it took. So this is exciting stuff, and it's no longer dry. We'll be back. So we're back, and this is beautiful. It's really over doubled. Look at this. Oh my gosh. Look at that. Oh, isn't that pretty? Well, that's what I have to do. I have to punch it down. Oh, get all that air out of there. Oh my. Okay. It's beautiful. Oh, it's so pretty. Now I'm going to add a little flour to my board here, and I have to give Jean Lamont another plug. They make the most beautiful baking things, and there's flour in here. Look at that. It's so even and so nice. And here's what you do. You just flip it, and it's on my brand new board. It's so funny. Things that you want, as time goes on. I've looked at these breadboards or cutting boards, whatever you want to call them, for about 20 years, 5, maybe, I don't know. Every time I have gone into a kitchen store, I've said, oh, and we found, he didn't know. And one day I said, I just love these boards. So he bought one for me, and I absolutely do love it. So.
What kind of boards are they?
These are the John Boos boards. I thought it said down there. Did it say down there? Okay, now, let me get my bowl out of the way here. The instructions are for 10 rolls. And I tend to be a little weird when I do rolls because I like them all about the same size, So I've got my cutter here, and I'm just going to kind of cut it. And then I can see, before I start making the rolls, how good we're doing here. So I'm just going to, oh gosh, this dough is just beautiful. All right. Got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 2, 3, 4, 8, 10. Okay. Let's just take a quick what's-see here. All right. I'm going to get it down to, this is a nice little scale too. If you ever want a kitchen scale, this is the Escali. I think I have it on my Amazon store. I think that's going to be these are way off. Way off. Okay. Well, I'm trying to think. It says a small ball, but this is so far off. All right. I'm going to settle on what a weight is on this. I won't keep you here. Once I get a weight that's, kind of even all across the other ones, I'll bring you back. We'll do the rolling technique. So, I always start things with the word so. Anyway, I had started doing this, and at the beginning, before I started trying to figure out how each roll was to be weighed, he said it to me, and I said, that's exactly how I was going to go. He said, weigh the whole thing, and then break it down into 10 pieces. Sure enough, he was right. And that's what I thought about doing at the beginning, and then I forgot. These each are about 3 ounces. The dough was 30.3 ounces, I think it was. So I tried to aim for about 3 ounces each. And there's one here that's a little larger. And of course, we know who that belongs to. So He was very helpful, got them all kind of rolled together for me. And really, it's just, it's really kind of an easy technique. You kind of fold it over, kind of bunch it up down there, and kind of give yourself a little roll here. So it's fairly smooth on top. I'm going to continue doing this. And once I get them all done, I'll bring you back and show you what's coming next. I've got 10 really beautiful rolls here. In fact, as I'm rolling them and putting them out, I could feel the dough, the rise beginning to happen again. I'm going to cover them lightly with some plastic wrap and give them about 30 minutes. And as you can see, I've got them pretty well spread out. So hopefully they won't, collide as they're baking. And then I'm going to set the heat on my oven at 395 degrees. And I'm going to be doing a little topping on these before they go in the oven. We'll be back. This is exciting stuff. These look amazing. And they've been rising for about 30 minutes. And they're lovely. Light and puffy. And I've got my oven preheated. The thing I did, which they suggested, when you do a lot of crusty kinds of things, I put in the bottom of my oven, it's a pie pan, a metal pie pan with water. So you get a steamy environment, which helps these rolls to get, all nice and crunchy on the outside. So now I'm just going to take some plain water. Again, I suspect this is part of that crusting process. You're just going to brush these on. Why don't you put that on hold there, Director, so they don't have to see me. The water is done, and now I'm going to get out my little Jean Lemon duster here, and a little dust on each one. A little bit more. Okay, now here's the part I hate about any time I make bread, French bread, anything where I have to cut across on the top because I'm just terrible at it. So, we're going to go with it. It says to put I cut. Well, that's not too terribly bad. Because sometimes I've really mangled the dough. So I'm not too terribly sorry about that. No, it's not great. I've even tried using those lames or whatever. And I think it has to do with the dough. It's just not whatever. Okay. What I'm going to show you now is what I'm going to do. And then I'll put these in the oven, and they're going to be baked for about 25 minutes until they're nice and crispy. It suggests any kind of seed you like, or they can be plain. So I got some sesame seeds here, and I think I'll just put a little bit on each one here, on half of them. Let me crisscross this one here. All right. All right. These are going to go into the oven about 25 minutes. And when they're done, we can't wait. I don't know who's more excited about this, me or the director. He's a breadaholic, so I'll let him be the one. These are beautiful. Look at the bottoms. I mean, they're just and they're crunchy. I can feel the crunch. And they did take just about 25 minutes. You want to try one of these?
Oh, yeah.
Pull it open here. Oh, look at that. Oh, my gosh. It's pretty warm.
As I always say, the person who said man does not live by bread alone had not met the director.
Mm-hmm. 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 Mm. That is so moist.
Mm-hmm.
Nice crust.
Nice yeasty flavor.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I understand why now you can buy them like in bakeries. They make a lot of sandwiches with these. Oh, that's delicious. Right on. Good for you, Germany.
That's a winner.
Mm-hmm.
Broetchen.
Do it again.
Broetchen.
Broetchen. Broetchen.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for coming along on this journey around the world that we eat bread. Thank you for watching. Thank you for telling your friends about my channel. You better do that. And we will see you again real soon. Bye-bye.